time period that would allow for those residents that either commute out of city or work within the city but are unable to get to City Hall during our working hours currently, to provide a schedule that would also meet their needs. And so at this time, there's a proposed hours change for City Hall staff that would work from Mondays from 7:30 a.m. to 7 p.m., Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., and Fridays from 8 a.m. to noon. And again, the idea of changing the hours is to, if you look now, there's a longer night on Mondays, open a little bit earlier, and that again is to provide a opportunity for residents that are working a job that would not allow them to visit City Hall and approach staff and ask questions, that now we're able to do so. Also, Monday nights are our council nights, so staff is usually in the building in some capacity or is around preparing for meetings, so it would make sense for the longer night to be Mondays. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions pertaining to the hours.
Bobby, was there any discussion or was there a reason that Fridays would be 8 and Monday through Thursday would be 7:30? Because for me, in my brain continuity, it just seems easier
Yeah.
to open
Yeah, no,
at the same time.
yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah, there's really, I sat down, I talked with staff about this, and there wasn't any strong feelings on starting at 8 o'clock on Fridays. I mean, if we started at 7:30, that's fine too.
And maybe I'm the only one that even thinks that way. I don't know.
I hadn't
Just
thought
like
about it, but
makes
now that you
sense.
said it, maybe it
Mhm.
makes sense. But is that going to make any difference in being able to keep it
In
from
staffing?
overtime? for the
No,
staff? Okay.
no, I think we can still work through that.
I just think for continuity,
Mhm.
I would prefer that we open at the same time every day.
Okay.
Would be my thoughts. Any other comments?
I would just like to note, I appreciate the idea to extend one night longer, because I do think there's a lot of people who can't make it during business hours.
Mhm.
So I, for one, really like the extended hours on Mondays, and putting it on council night is smart. So, and I agree, I think 7:30 to make it consistent would be a good idea.
Should the closing time stay at noon for that day?
You know, you know what it's like on Friday afternoons and what
Mhm.
needs are there. I would say if there's ever a time that needs aren't being met because you're closing at noon, then it should be
Absolutely.
adjusted.
No,
But
I agree.
if you feel comfortable with that, I would defer to your judgment.
Are you asking if we go to 7:30 if it should be 11:30 closing, or were you just
Yeah,
closing
I-
early in general?
Yeah, just in general, I can tell you from staff standpoint right now, Friday afternoons are very dead.
Mhm.
Not a lot of residents are stopping into City Hall. We're not receiving phone calls. I think last Friday afternoon that I received 2 telemarketer calls in the afternoon, and that was it. So that's kind of the logic for stopping at noon, but that works.
Any other questions or comments?
You all know my position on this policy change. I'm just wasting my time, but I have
you're
not
not.
wavered in my opposition to this in the 4 times it's been presented to this council over the course of the past 2.5 years. Fall of 16, January of 17, January of 18, and here in January of 19. It has been assumed that this change will help enable residents to better utilize City Hall services, but by staff's own admission a year ago, there is no evidence residents are clamoring to seek these services before or after our current schedule. So therefore, I view this as a solution to a problem that doesn't exist, or a solution in search of a problem, because it's a problem that I feel doesn't exist. If staff feels a change in office hours is necessary, it can be handled administratively through the staggering of hours, similar to what we approved tonight with the Public Works. It's already done each week to monitor staff overtime. People are let go early because they stay late. Simply put, make a modification to the hours, not a modification to the day. In my gut, the potential drawbacks of this No phone calls will be made or taken, nor meetings scheduled with any professional services, public agencies, developers, contractors, etc., prior to 8 or after 4:30, Monday through Thursday, because they don't follow that schedule. The same goes for Friday afternoon. No one in the office will be able to handle phone calls or meetings. So what you're left with is 20% of a typical work week is unavailable to work with those agencies or service. Number two, any residents we claim to be helping in the additional 4.5 hours, Monday through Thursday, we are equally disenfranchising those people that want to show up, potentially show up on a Friday afternoon. Number three, I would expect to see an uptick in staff taking 4 hours of PTO or sick time on Fridays. If the companies I've worked for offered such an incentive, I would take it. Get an early start to the weekend, specifically a holiday weekend. The problem is if this happens, you'll be left with one employee on a Friday in the office, and we all know that that's counterproductive. Number four, I don't expect this change will sit well with residents. It didn't years ago when the city offered summer hours. And number five, whether it be tomorrow, a year from tomorrow, 3 years from tomorrow, this city council, this administration, expect the city council to be asked to consider a change to staff 4/10s and close on Fridays permanently, similar to what Tonka Bay does. And my reasoning behind that is it'll be noted that there's inefficiencies to asking staff to come in on Fridays for a 4-hour work week. You don't gain productivity, you eliminate an entire calendar day each week. A staggering of office hours is simple. Some administrative time and monitoring each week, it's currently the norm. And I just had to say it.
Thank you for expressing and articulating your view so well, Councilmember Fay. Appreciate that. I think it is important. This has been brought before us, so we do need to vote tonight. I know another option we talked about is, doing this for maybe 3 months or 6 months and then evaluating again. So I'd like to propose that for 6 months, office hours would be Mondays, 7:30 to 7 p.m., Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 7:30 to 4:30, and Fridays, 7:30 to noon for 6 months, and then to bring it back and reevaluate.
Could
And-
the effective start date be something like, the first full week of March or something like that, to give some time to,
I was even thinking March, or do we wait till April?
April's fine, too.
Because we need
Yeah.
to communicate.
to share these. I wouldn't want this to go into effect tomorrow.
Right.
And
And
obviously that's not
it's March
productive.
this next week.
So maybe
I was gonna
April.
propose April,
April works for me.
if that's,
And that's an admirable compromise at this point. My concern, and I'll say it now, is that there's no measurable matrix to determine if it's needed. There'll be equally a non-measurable matrix at the end to say that it's working effectively. So be prepared
Right.
to.
And that was my question is what,
You know what I mean?
What metrics do we
I'm of the
use here?
position it's
Yeah.
not needed. How are we gonna be able to defend that it's working effectively?
well, I think staff can keep track of Monday evenings. They'll have a feel if people are coming. We're obviously gonna hear from residents if they're coming here and their needs aren't being met and we're not providing the services that are needed.
I would say that, I think it's important to know that my first and foremost goal in my position is to provide service to the residents. So if I truly didn't think that this was going to provide a greater service to the residents, it's not productive for me to bring that before council. Just because on Fridays the day ends at noon doesn't mean that my day ends at noon. It doesn't work that way. Johnny made a number of good points in what you said there, and I think that's always good to know those points in moving forward, because if it is an issue, then absolutely, yeah. And I'd be the first one to say, yeah, it's not working. But I think, too, it's also good to be aware that anytime there's a change, you're going to hear about the change because it's a change. That doesn't mean it's not working. You're just going to hear about it because there's some change. But the idea that, you know, there is one day open later, I think, could provide some benefit to people that are working a job that don't have that availability. So I think it'll take a little bit of time, but if it's not working, I'll be the first one here in front of council saying, we need to go back to how it was.
You know, and I wouldn't ask administration to spend a tremendous amount of time on it, but there should be some unit of measure that says, by doing this, we achieve X.
Sure.
And, or, because if we achieve Y, we're gonna go back or modify or whatever, and that's fine.
Could it be as simple as just keeping a tally of how many people are coming in the
Yeah.
expanded hours? And if it seems like there's a, number of people being served in those new hours, maybe that's a good enough way
Yeah,
to quantify it in 6 months. I don't know.
Yeah, I want to see how it works out and how it goes. And like I said, if it's not working, I'll be the
Right.
first one coming back here saying we need to change the hours because.
We can change it back as quickly as we changed it to this, and so, to me, it's a pretty low stakes move. If it's really not working,
It's
you know.
understandable, but I
Yeah.
didn't spend 30 minutes typing this up to go, yay.
Yeah, I get it. I wouldn't
And
expect it.
appreciate
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
and I,
yeah.
again, appreciate you articulating why.
Well, I put hundreds of miles of this head inside a helmet on a snowmobile the past 9 days with no one to talk to but myself, so.
I'm glad we got the Cliff Notes version.
So are we comfortable? I guess the motion on the table is then that office hours would change Mondays from 7:30 a.m. to 7 p.m., Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 7:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., and Fridays, 7:30 a.m. to 12 p.m., beginning April through September on a trial basis, and then we will reevaluate in September where we stand. Okay, I make that motion. Looking for a second.
I'll second.
Second by Councilmember Boda. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries 3-1. Next item of business is the City Hall meeting schedule.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor and City Council. We're looking to make one revision to our current City Council schedule for the month. The current schedule is that we would meet on the second Monday of the month for a workshop that would begin at 5:30 p.m. And the fourth Monday, we would meet for a business meeting at 7 o'clock p.m. Typically, we would have an EDA meeting before that. What we're looking to do is, if needed, have a workshop. The EDA is before the workshop on the second Monday. That would make a lot more sense. So on the fourth Monday, we have just scheduled a business meeting at 7 p.m. That is today. This would provide the option where we could have a workshop if needed at 5:30 p.m. On that fourth Monday of the month. So if there's information that needs to be discussed, either that's pressing or time sensitive or just something that we need to talk about, we have that option to do so. And if there isn't, then we don't need to have the meeting, but we have that option available to us to do so. And that's what we're looking to do with this change at this time.
And this decision would be made the Wednesday prior, so that way it would
Yeah.
be posted and communicated?
Yep, it would be posted and
people know.
communicated to residents, so this would not be a spur-of-the-moment
So
decision.
just a flip of what we talked about 2 weeks ago, instead of having it scheduled and canceling it, you're saying you just have the ability to schedule it.
Yeah.
I
So
thought that's what we were already doing now, wasn't it?
No.
Oh, we didn't?
No.
Okay. Well
No,
then,
not for this fourth
That's
Monday.
the way it should be.
Yeah, so it would be what I would call penciled in.
Okay.
So it's there, and if we don't need it.
So I mean, will it be on the calendar, and then the Wednesday prior to Monday, it would be canceled off the calendar?
Correct.
If we didn't have an
Yep.
agenda.
That's the way to do it, so it's communicated to not just council, but also to the residents within the community. Yep.
That way everyone knows. Good questions and points to clarify. Any other questions? Okay, so looking for a motion to approve the new city council meeting schedule.
I will make that motion.
Motion by Councilmember Fay,
Second?
second by Councilmember Cahill. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Next item of business is city council reports, and we will start with Councilmember Cahill.
This month I attended the Experienced Officials Conference, which the theme this year was communication, very interesting sessions. I also attended the watershed meeting as an alternate to John.
Thank you. Councilmember Fay.
I, as you were aware, like Bobby, was pretty much out of town the second half of February. So attended a party in the park planning meeting with the mayor the first week of February. It's going swimmingly. I have been attending Rotary on behalf of the city regularly, and I just wanted to thank Councilmember Cahill for filling in for me last Thursday. I'm sure it went well.
Thrilling.
Did you learn some new acronyms?
I did. Still looking some up.
The watershed is good for acronyms. All right,
That's it.
thank you. Councilmember Rhoda.
Well, I had my first police commission meeting, and they went easy on me. Didn't throw too much in my direction, but unfortunately, I was unable to make the drug task force luncheon. I had a sick infant that day I had to stay at home with, but I heard it went well, and so I'm thankful for all the work the police is doing, and also great to see the new commissioners and the interviews, and so thankful for the residents that are stepping up to the plate and being on the commission. So just good month all around, seeing the different aspects in the new year. So.
It has been a busy month and an exciting month. I as well, the Experienced Officials Conference it was really good. It was practical and gave us some good tools to bring back. So excited to implement some of those with the team and looking forward to that. And it was nice to be there with Councilmember Cahill. Police Commission covered that one, and Rotary's going well. If anyone wants to help with Party in the Park, please let us know. We'd love to have you. I was able to meet with Representative Dean Phillips, some of his staff, and our staff, and they're just looking for ways to partner with our city and how they can help us, so that was encouraging. Was able to attend the Northwest Hennepin League of Municipalities, and ironically, our speaker was about the grants available through the Minnesota Amateur Sports Commission, so that was very exciting and very pertinent to our city. And then also working with staff to plan future city events this summer. So first event will be the Battle of the Badges with our police and fire department, which has become a beloved tradition. We'll have some movies in the park and our annual night out. And again, if anyone's interested in volunteering or helping with those, please contact the city or myself. We'd love to have you. And as a council, we've been busy with EDA and commission reviews, and also we're very excited and honored to attend the Rainbow Park Warming House open house, and really proud of the Destination Imagination team who came before us a couple months ago and presented, went and did their project, even did it a second time, and then they presented at, I believe it was like Regions on Saturday, and they placed first place. So they are going on to state representing Maple Plain and Orono School District. So very proud of them and want to wish them all the best. So it's been a good month. Any other council reports? Okay, hearing none. Any visitors to be heard this evening? Any visitors? Okay, hearing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved by Councilmember Broda,
Second.
second by Councilmember Fay. The meeting's adjourned at 8:13.
I don't know what it is.